Stop trying to manifest. For you, the work is already done. Your reality is now on automatic. This isn't a new technique. It's a quantum graduation. This is a notification that you have reached a critical threshold of consciousness, a state where the very laws of reality creation invert. This is the observer effect reaching its terminal velocity, a state I call the observer's echo. Only observers see this. And what they see is a reality that now responds automatically. In the next 50 minutes, I'm going to prove to you that you've already reached this level and show you the definitive signs that confirm your reality is now in a state of perpetual automatic response. This isn't mysticism. It is a conclusion based on the verified physics of quantum collapse, the absolute bedrock of our understanding of how anything comes to exist at all. We are moving beyond abstract theory and into the lived, repeatable experience of countless advanced observers who have crossed this invisible line from effort into being. You've felt it, haven't you? That deep soul-level exhaustion from trying every technique, every method, every ritual, the maddening frustration of inconsistent results where one day you feel like the master of your universe, and the next you feel utterly lost in the static. You've had that nagging feeling that you're missing one final, crucial key to unlock the whole thing. That feeling is not a sign of your failure. It is the single most important symptom you could experience. It is the definitive proof that you are using old tools in a new reality. You haven't failed at the game. You have simply graduated to a level where the old rules no longer apply. The fatigue you feel is the friction created by trying to push a door that has already swung wide open. You've outgrown the paradigm of effort. If you're ready to graduate from trying to observing and this scientific approach resonates, hit the like button now to signal that this deeper conversation is needed. So the question isn't, what do I do next? The real question is, how does the observer effect create reality on its own? Let's break down the physics. At the most fundamental level of existence, there are no solid things. There is only a field of infinite potential, a wave of every possibility existing simultaneously. The physicist John Wheeler called it the participatory universe. Reality isn't a fixed movie you watch. It is a collaborative event that only solidifies into a specific experience when consciousness observes it. This is the quantum collapse. Your attention, your observation, is the force that commands the infinite wave of potential to collapse into the single, tangible particle of your experience. Your seeing it is what makes it real. This isn't a spiritual metaphor. This is the foundational mechanism of the cosmos. For years, your work has been to train your observation, to hold your focus on a desired potential long enough for it to crystallize from the quantum field. You worked to become a stable, coherent observer. And now, you have succeeded. You have practiced for so long that your state of observation is no longer a temporary action you perform. It is a permanent state you inhabit. Your consciousness has achieved a level of coherence where it is a constant, unwavering signal. Think of it this way. For your entire journey, you have been handed a tuning fork. You were told that your job was to strike this tuning fork against a surface to create a sound. You were taught hundreds of ways to strike it. Affirmations, visualizations, scripting, action plans. All of them were different methods of striking the fork to make reality resonate with your intention. The entire focus was always on the action, the effort, the force and precision of the strike. We became so obsessed with the technique of striking the fork that we never stopped to truly examine the nature of the fork itself. What if the quality of the instrument was always more important than the force of the blow? What if you have spent years, lifetimes even, purifying the metal, refining the shape, and calibrating the very structure of your tuning fork, which is your consciousness, to such a point of perfection that it no longer needs to be struck at all? What if its very presence is now enough to cause the air around it to vibrate in sympathy? By the end of this journey together, you will stop striving, and you will start witnessing. You will lay down the tools of the active creator, because you will have fully embodied the profound power of the neutral observer. Your reality will no longer be something you build. It will be something that reconfigures around you effortlessly and automatically, a perfect echo of the frequency you have finally become. Let's return to the tuning fork. For years, you've been focused on the action, the strike, the technique needed to produce the sound. You learned how to strike it harder, softer, with more intention, with more feeling. And sometimes, you produced a clear note. Other times, just a dull thud or a jarring, chaotic rattle. This isn't just a metaphor. This is the physics of why you have felt so stuck. To understand this, we have to look at the foundational experiment of quantum mechanics. The double-slit experiment. The bedrock of modern physics. In its simplest form, when you fire particles like electrons at a screen with two slits in it, they don't act like tiny bullets. They act like a wave. They pass through both slits at once, creating an interference pattern on the other side, a pattern of many possible realities, all existing at the same time. This is called superposition, the field of pure potential. But the moment an observer measures which slit the electron goes through, the wave of potential collapses. It becomes a single particle in a single location. Observation turns potential into reality. This is the part everyone knows. But here is the secret that only advanced observers discover. The part that explains everything. The quality of the observation determines the quality of the collapse. When your observation is entangled with effort, with wanting, with needing, with the desperate energy of trying to make something happen, you are not a clean observer. You are an interfering force. You are observing the wave of potential through a lens of lack, of anxiety, of force. And so, the reality that collapses is messy. It's unpredictable. It's tainted by the very energy you're using to observe it. You get a little of what you want, mixed with the static of your own striving. This is the chaotic vibration. The jarring rattle of the tuning fork struck with desperation. Your very effort to create has been creating interference patterns, keeping your desired reality in a constant, frustrating state of almost here. You have been holding reality in a wave state with the sheer force of your wanting, but something has shifted within you. Your consciousness has reached a critical density, a point of coherence that changes the entire equation, and this shift triggers a scientifically predictable event, a phase transition. I call it the observer's echo effect. The observer's echo effect is what happens when the energy output of your doing, your trying, forcing, and manifesting drops below the baseline energetic signature of your being. Let me repeat that. It is the moment when your presence becomes more powerful than your effort. When this threshold is crossed, the quantum field, which has been held in a state of chaotic potential by your striving, suddenly has nothing to lock onto but the clearest, most stable, most coherent frequency available. That frequency is you, your pure state of being. Reality no longer has conflicting instructions. It receives one clear signal, and it has no choice but to conform. It must, by the laws of physics, organize itself around your state of being. It must echo the note you have become. This is why the old methods are now failing you. This is why they feel exhausting, like pushing against a wall. Your consciousness has become too powerful for them. Think of it like this. When you first started this journey, your consciousness was a small, quiet speaker. To create an effect in your reality, you had to shout into a microphone. You had to use loud techniques, forceful affirmations, intense visualizations, hours of scripting. You had to generate a signal strong enough to be heard. But your inner work, the meditation, the study, the self-inquiry, was never about getting better at shouting. It was a constant, steady upgrade of your internal hardware. You are no longer a small speaker. You are a stadium-level broadcast system, constantly emitting a powerful, coherent signal of who you are. So what happens now when you try to use the old techniques? What happens when you try to shout affirmations into a system this powerful? You get feedback, distortion, energetic noise. The techniques that once helped you are now the primary source of static in your reality. They are creating resistance because your powerful state of being is now in conflict with the lower frequency energy of trying. You are a master instrument, and you are still trying to play it like a novice. Think of the one goal you've been pushing the hardest for. Can you feel the subtle energetic resistance that pushing creates? That resistance is the proof. It is the signature of an old paradigm colliding with a new level of consciousness. Your frustration is not a sign of failure. It is the signal that you have graduated. The new paradigm, therefore, is not an action. It is a profound and radical stillness. It is about coherence, not effort. It is about being, not doing. The creative act is no longer an action you perform. It is a resonance you are. You are no longer the hand that strikes the tuning fork, desperately hoping to create the right note. You have become the fork itself, and your only job is to resonate at the frequency of the reality you desire. This is automatic manifestation explained. It's not about getting better at striking the tuning fork. It's about realizing you are the fork, and your world has no choice but to vibrate with you. For your entire spiritual journey, you have been operating under one fundamental assumption, an assumption so deep, so ingrained, you likely never thought to question it. The assumption is this: to get a response from reality, you must first do something to it. You must perform an action. You must send a signal. You must strike the tuning fork. This is the central paradox that has kept you locked in a cycle of effort and exhaustion. Because the truth, the great revelation that your own evolution has delivered you to, is the polar opposite. At this level of consciousness, your being is the doing. Let me repeat that. Your state of being is now the causal force. The act of existing in a particular state of coherence is the most powerful action you can possibly take. The years you spent trying, pushing, visualizing, affirming, they weren't a waste. They were the training ground. They were the forge that built the very instrument capable of this new physics. You were building the consciousness that now makes all that effort obsolete. You have graduated. You have become a causal force simply by existing. This changes everything, absolutely everything. It means the entire direction of your focus inverts. For years you have been looking outward, trying to arrange the pieces of your reality, trying to influence circumstances, trying to send a signal out into the universe, and hoping for an echo. Now your focus turns 180 degrees, inward. Your only work is the calibration of your internal state. There are no more techniques to learn. There are no more processes to master. There is no complex sequence of steps you must perform perfectly for the universe to grant your wish. That entire paradigm has dissolved. Your only work now is to simply be. To be the frequency of the reality you wish to experience. The game is no longer about learning how to better strike the tuning fork. The revelation is that you are the tuning fork. And your very existence is a constant, unwavering frequency broadcast into the quantum field. Reality is the resonant chamber. It has no choice but to vibrate in harmony with you. It must echo your note. So the new approach is one of radical simplicity. It is an approach of profound stillness. It is the practice of neutral observation. You learn to abide in the feeling state of your desired reality, not as a technique to get something, but as your new home address, as your fundamental state of being. You feel the peace you desire. You feel the abundance you desire. You feel the wholeness you desire. And you do it with zero requirement for the outside world to prove it to you first. You are no longer sending a request and waiting for a delivery. You are becoming the signal itself. When you do this, you move beyond hope and into certainty. You are not broadcasting a wish, you are broadcasting a fact of your own being. The universe, which is a flawless and instantaneous mirror, can only reflect the fact of you. What if the reality you desire isn't something you need to build, but a resonance you simply need to become? Let that sink in. This shift precipitates a complete transformation of your identity. The old labels no longer fit. They are like clothes you have profoundly outgrown. You are not a manifester. A manifester is someone who tries to make things happen. You are now someone who allows reality to happen through them. You are a reality anchor. You anchor a specific frequency into this dimension, and the quantum field crystallizes around that anchor point. You are not a creator in the old sense of the word. A creator implies effort, building, and assembling. You are a point of coherence, a silent, still point of such pure internal order that the chaos of infinite potential has no choice but to organize itself around you. You are a walking, breathing collapse of the wave function. Your presence, your serene, anchored presence, is the observation that turns the wave of all possibilities into the particle of your lived experience. This is who you have become. So now you're asking, how to know reality is responding to you under these new rules? It's simpler than you think. The observer's echo effect is not a future goal you are striving for. It is a physical reality that is active in your life right now. You have simply been taught to misinterpret the evidence, to label the miraculous as mundane coincidence. I'm going to give you 3 distinct, counterintuitive signs that prove your reality has already shifted into this state of automatic response. Your only job is to stop explaining them away and start acknowledging them for what they are. Echoes from the quantum field, confirming it is now tuned to you. The first and most startling sign is the dissolving of problems. Think of a situation in your life that has been a source of chronic struggle. A complex financial issue, a difficult relationship, a creative block that has tormented you for years. You have pushed against it, strategized around it, poured immense amounts of energy into trying to solve it. And it remained, a dense knot of resistance in your reality. Then, something shifted. Perhaps you simply gave up. You became so exhausted by the effort that you let it go, not in a state of positive surrender, but of pure spiritual fatigue. You stopped observing it with force and intention. You simply dropped the rope. And then it happened. The problem, without any new action from you, simply resolved itself. The difficult person had a sudden change of heart and apologized. An unexpected check arrived in the mail that covered the exact amount needed. The perfect idea for your project downloaded into your mind with absolute clarity in the middle of the night. This is not luck, it is physics. As long as you were observing the problem with the energy of struggle, you were holding it in a state of quantum tension. Your forceful observation was collapsing the wave function into the very pattern of a problem to be solved. You were feeding the very thing you wanted to eliminate. The moment your observation became neutral, the moment you dropped your energetic agenda, you allowed the infinite potential of the quantum field to collapse into the most elegant, harmonious solution. You did not solve the problem. You allowed it to be unsolved by ceasing to create it with your attention. This is the clearest evidence that the echo is active in your life. The second sign is the emergence of effortless synchronicity. You are familiar with basic synchronicity, those pleasing little coincidences that make you smile. But this is something different. This is a higher order of coherence. This is when the entire matrix of your reality begins to visibly reconfigure itself around your state of being, with a speed and precision that defies classical probability. It's thinking of a long-lost friend and receiving a text from them 5 minutes later. It's needing a very specific piece of information and then having a podcast you've never heard of autoplay with a guest expert discussing that exact topic. It's deciding you need to learn a new skill, and the next day, a trusted colleague forwards you an email for the perfect, deeply discounted course. You are not attracting these things. That is the old language of effort. Let's be more precise. The quantum field is an information field, and it is self-organizing. When your state of being becomes a pure, coherent frequency, a stable note of peace or clarity or abundance, you become a powerful organizing principle within that field. You become a gravitational center for relevant data. Reality begins to bring you the necessary components not because you are chasing them, but because their energetic signature is a harmonic match to the one you are now embodying. You are no longer running through the maze, hoping to find the prize. You have become so still, so coherent, that the maze itself dissolves and reforms, creating a direct path between you and everything that resonates with your being. The third sign is the most intimate and, for many, the most undeniable. It is the human mirror. This is when the people in your life begin to spontaneously reflect your inner state back to you, often with startling accuracy. They become unwitting echoes of your internal broadcast. You spend your morning cultivating a deep, unshakable feeling of peace. And you walk into your office and a coworker who normally complains says, "Wow, I don't know what it is, but I just feel so calm around you today." You are privately holding the question, am I truly on the right path? and you overhear a stranger on the street say to their friend, "You just have to trust that you're exactly where you need to be." You feel a profound sense of gratitude for your partner, a feeling you haven't yet expressed, and they turn to you and say, completely out of the blue, "I just feel so appreciated by you lately." They are not reading your mind, they are reading your field. Human consciousness is profoundly resonant. When you operate from a state of powerful internal coherence, you become the dominant frequency in any room you enter. People's energy fields unconsciously tune to yours. They are picking up on your broadcast and reflecting it back to you in the language they have. This is the ultimate proof of the observer's echo effect. The universe is using the people around you to show you, in real time, the signal you are emitting. So your new work is not to create, it is to notice. Your task is to become a master pattern recognizer. When a problem dissolves, when synchronicity delivers the perfect solution, when a person mirrors your deepest feeling, you must stop calling it a coincidence. You must pause, take a breath, and acknowledge the physics at play. Say it to yourself. The echo is active. Each time you do this, you anchor this new reality more firmly. You reinforce the feedback loop. Noticing the echo strengthens the signal, which in turn creates more powerful and obvious echoes to be noticed. You move from someone who hopes this is true to someone who has the living, breathing evidence of it all around you. In the comments, share which of these 3 signs you now recognize in your own life. Let's create a powerful record of this collective shift. I want to personally witness your breakthrough. You understand this now? Not just as a theory, but as a lived reality. You've seen the evidence in your own life. The intellectual conviction is forged, but knowledge is only the map. It is not the territory. Now, we move beyond the mind. We move beyond understanding and into the one place where truth can be known without a doubt. Embodiment. Let's feel this reality in every cell of your body. I invite you now to find a quiet space, a place where you can be undisturbed for just a few moments. Turn off the notifications. Close the door. This moment is for you. It is a moment to graduate from knowing to being. Gently close your eyes if that feels right for you. Take a slow, deep breath in. And as you exhale, release the day. Release the mind. Release the need to figure anything out. Your only job right now is to be here. Let's begin by sensing the quantum field, the field of infinite potential. But we are not going to look for it out there. Bring your awareness inward, deep inside your own physical body. Sense the vibrant stillness that exists within you. Feel the space between your thoughts. Feel the space between your heartbeats. Go deeper. Sense the space that holds the very cells of your body together. Deeper still. Sense the vast, silent space within each atom. That is the field. It has never been separate from you. It is the very fabric of your being. It is the silence from which all sound emerges. Rest here for a moment. Simply be aware of this inner vastness. This is the creative source. Not outside of you, but inside of you. Now, from this place of inner stillness, I want you to do something very different. We are not going to visualize a goal. We are not going to create a mental movie of what you want. Those are the old tools, the tools of effort. Instead, I invite you to simply evoke a feeling, the pure feeling state of your desired reality, as if it were already true. Choose one. Is it the frequency of absolute peace? The frequency of boundless joy? The frequency of unshakable certainty? The frequency of effortless abundance? Do not search for images or scenarios. That is the mind trying to help. Gently let the images go. We are interested only in the raw frequency, the pure, unadulterated vibration of the state itself. Allow that feeling to arise within you now. Perhaps it starts as a warmth in your chest, a lightness in your being, a quiet hum beneath the surface. Let it emerge gently. Don't force it. Simply invite it. And as it arises, let it expand. Let this frequency fill the inner space you just discovered. Let it saturate every cell, every atom. There is nothing to do here, nowhere to go, just this feeling, this resonance. And now, the most important step of all. As you sustain this feeling, notice the subtle urge of the mind. Notice the habit, the impulse to do something with this energy, the desire to aim it, to direct it, to push it towards a problem or a goal. Do you feel that? That is the old paradigm. That is the manifestor trying to strike the tuning fork. And here, in this new reality, we simply let that urge go. Release the need to direct this feeling. Release the need to use it. Your only job is to be it, to become the source of the feeling itself. Sustain it without effort. Marinate in it. Let it be your entire reality in this moment. This is radical. This is the great letting go. You are no longer a creator sending out a signal. You are the signal itself. And now, feel the final boundary dissolve, the distinction between you and the feeling. You are not feeling peace. You are peace. You are not feeling abundance. You are abundance. The frequency and the source have become one. You are the tuning fork, vibrating with its own perfect, effortless note. This state of being right here. This is the state of automatic response. This is the frequency that reality has no choice but to echo. Stay here for another moment. There is nothing to achieve. You have already arrived. Now, very gently, without losing this feeling, begin to bring your awareness back. Back to the space around you. Back to the physical sensations of your body. Take a slow, conscious breath. When you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes. Do not analyze the experience. Do not rush to label it or understand it. Just notice what remains. Notice the quality of your own presence. As you come back to this moment, what one word describes the frequency of your being right now? That word is your new compass. You are no longer a striver or a seeker. You are a conscious resonator. Let that new identity land. Feel the structure of it. It is not a poetic title. It is a statement of physics. You now operate under a different set of laws because you have become a different kind of energetic instrument. And every master instrument requires a new set of operating principles. Not rules, not limitations, but principles of harmony that allow you to express your truest frequency with the least amount of interference. So let's make this exquisitely practical. Let's move this from the realm of the deeply felt into the domain of the daily lived. Here are the operating principles for the conscious resonator. The first is the frequency audit. Your old life was governed by a to-do list. It was a list of actions designed to manipulate the external world to produce a desired internal feeling. Get the promotion to feel successful. Find the partner to feel loved. Make the money to feel secure. Action, leading to result, leading to feeling. We are now inverting this process entirely. From this day forward, you replace your to-do list with a to-be list. Each morning before you engage with the world, your first and only critical task is to conduct a frequency audit. You sit in silence for a moment and you ask one question. What is the dominant frequency I am broadcasting today? Is it the chaotic static of anxiety? Is it the heavy, dense hum of obligation? Is it the sharp, erratic signal of impatience? Be ruthlessly honest, but completely non-judgmental. You are simply taking a reading of your instrument. You are the engineer in the broadcast studio, checking the signal before it goes live. If you identify a frequency that is not in alignment with the reality you are now allowing to emerge, your job is not to go out and fix the world that is causing it. That is the old paradigm. Your new job, your only job, is to retune the instrument. You do not need to fight the anxiety. You do not need to analyze the obligation. You simply introduce a new, more coherent frequency. You go back to the feeling you embodied just moments ago. Peace, certainty, abundance. You call it forth not as a goal, but as a calibration. You hold that new note until it becomes the dominant signal. This audit is your primary creative act of the day, because once you set your frequency, the universe has its instructions. The echo has its source code. The rest of the day is just watching the printout. The second principle is neutral observation of dissonance. Even as a master resonator, echoes of old frequencies will still appear in your reality. A challenging email will land in your inbox. An unexpected bill will arrive. A conversation will feel discordant. This is inevitable. It is not a sign of failure. It is simply the universe clearing out the backlog of old, incoherent signals you once broadcasted. Your old habit, your deeply ingrained human programming, is to see this dissonance and immediately try to fix it, to react, to push back, to apply effort and force to correct the perceived problem. This is like hearing a dissonant echo in a canyon and shouting at it to stop. The shouting only creates more echoes, more chaos. The new way is radical. It is the practice of neutral observation. When something unwanted appears, you see it for what it is, an echo. It is old energy. It is a recording of a song you are no longer playing. Your job is not to engage with it, fight it, or even try to positively reframe it. Your job is to observe it without judgment, to look upon it with a calm, neutral detachment, as if you were a scientist observing a phenomenon behind glass. You say to yourself, "Interesting, an echo of the frequency of lack. I see it." And then you do nothing. You withdraw your energy. You starve it of the one thing it needs to persist, your focused emotional attention. Your neutral observation is the most powerful dissolving agent in the universe. It collapses the wave function of that problem into nothingness because you refuse to broadcast the frequency that sustains it. You let the echo fade. By refusing to strike the tuning fork of problem, you allow its vibration to simply cease. This is not passivity. This is the highest form of action. The third practical tool is the reality anchor. In the quiet of meditation, it is easy to hold the frequency of your desired state. But life is dynamic. The world will present you with patterns designed to pull you back into your old resonance. This is where you need an anchor. The word you identified earlier, the one that described the frequency of your being in that deep state of connection. That word is your anchor. It is not just a word, it is a key. A vibrational command code that instantly reconnects your conscious mind to your embodied state of knowing. Throughout your day, the moment you feel the pull of old habits, the urge to strive, to worry, to control, to push, you silently and internally repeat that word. If your word was peace, and you find yourself in a moment of frustration, you don't fight the frustration. You simply drop the anchor, peace. You don't shout it in your mind. You feel it. You let the single word land in your body and you feel the resonance of it spread, overriding the chaotic signal of the momentary struggle. It is your immediate recalibration tool. It is the button you press to switch from the manual, effort-based reality to the automatic, response-based reality. It is your anchor in the harbor of being, preventing the tides of the external world from pulling you out into the stormy seas of doing. What is the first story about struggle or effort you will consciously stop observing? Effective immediately? Declare it to yourself. This is your new framework for living. It is a beautifully simple, infinitely powerful loop. Tune, observe, anchor. That is it. That is the entire operating manual. This is not another technique you must perfect. This is not another complicated process you must add to your day. This is a simplification. It is an unlearning. It is a return to the effortless mastery that is your birthright. It is the recognition that you are not a being who performs an action called creation. You are the creation itself. You now understand the observer's echo effect. You have the signs to recognize it, the embodied feeling of it, and the practical tools to live from it. You are operating from an entirely new paradigm, the paradigm of automatic response. But mastering your own frequency, as profound an achievement as it is only the first step. It is the final graduation from the old world of effort. It is the mastery of the solo instrument, learning to play your note perfectly, purely, and consistently. Your tuning fork, however, does not exist in a vacuum. It resonates within a vast, interconnected orchestra. The next horizon of reality creation is not just hearing your own echo. It is understanding how your note, your frequency, is instantly and non-locally connected to every other frequency in existence. When a fully tuned conscious resonator, which is what you now are, grasps this fundamental interconnection, something miraculous occurs. Your inner state doesn't just affect your personal reality. It instantly influences the entire quantum field. It sends a ripple across the entirety of consciousness. This is not philosophy. This is the verified physics of quantum entanglement, the most profound and misunderstood principle in all of science. It proves that the separation you perceive between yourself and the world is an illusion, a functional but ultimately temporary operating system. And it is the next essential piece of this puzzle for you to master. Subscribe and activate all notifications. Our next video, Quantum Entanglement Explained: Why Your Inner State Instantly Affects Your Outer World, is the next essential piece of this puzzle. In it, we will explore the hard science that proves your consciousness is not an isolated island, but an inseparable part of one, single, interconnected system. After that, we will deconstruct the greatest mystery of all, showing you that it is not a mystery, but a predictable mechanism. That video is called Synchronicity is Simpler Than You Think. It's pure physics. You see, the journey does not end here. It begins. You are not just a broadcaster receiving your own echo. That was the training ground. You are a note in a cosmic symphony, and your personal coherence, your sustained state of being, brings harmony to the whole. You are no longer just creating your life. You are contributing a healing frequency that elevates everything. This is your power. This is your new work. Welcome to the next level of creation.